Hello, recruits. Thank you for devoting your time to serving the U.S.'s war affairs. Remember, while you work at Hanford, you are contributing to the safety of the U.S. in a period known as the Cold War. Those dang Soviets, you could never trust them with secrets. Anyway, if you don't know who I am, my name is Robert Oppenheimer. Welcome to Washington, home of the Hanford Nuclear Site. This is the reason why we won the war against Germany. Although many say that a space program will help us win the Cold War, it's probably going to be a hoax. Before you come to the site, this video will tell you about the place you will work at. If you didn't know yet, the bomb Fat Man which dropped on Hiroshima was made in Hanford. Hanford was chosen as a site for our nuclear program by my good friends Franklin Matthias and General Leslie Groves. Here is Leslie to tell you more about Hanford. Thank you, Robert. Hanford is a small village and desert in eastern Washington. It is located in the basin formed by the Saddle Mountains to the north and the Rattlesnake Mountains to the south. I chose it because it was easily defendable, had railroads, and had power from hydroelectric dams. The Columbia River could cool the reactors as well. The town was named after Cornelius Hanford, a man who had an irrigation company in 1907. Although there have been some radioactive bits found into the river, which concludes that there is no fishing anywhere allowed, there is really no worry. Hanford is also a city by its own, since it has 370 miles of road, 185 miles electric power, and 66 miles of piping. Great job, Leslie. In the period between World War II and the period now known as the Cold War, Hanford was temporarily shut down. Only now has the plutonium production increased. Now let's get into the main site. Due to safety purposes, the citizens of White Bluffs and Hanford were given 30 days to evacuate for a small sum of money. After evacuation duties were taken care of, the facility was built. The main building that was built was the beer reactor, designed by Eugene Wickner of MetLab and everybody at DuPont Chemicals. The beer reactor was located 3 miles from any other building in the facility, and was based on Enrico Fermi's Chicago pile, designed with a 36-foot block of graphite with 2004 tubes for uranium and fuel. We started building right after Italy surrendered in September 1943. Then 1 year later, the first reactor went critical. Everybody was so happy to see something working. At that time, only 500 of the 51,000 workforce knew what they were building. To make space for all 554 buildings, reactors, and plutonium canyons, we had to destroy the whole town. The workforce left the high school standing as a construction management office. It was here where construction operations were done, and workers were assigned shifts. To speed up the process, some workers even worked overtime and on weekends. With this style, the facility was finished in 18 months, but sadly, not all got a job. In 1943, too many people poured in and few stayed. The workforce was just too big. Heck, this was the biggest building project ever in U.S. history, costing $230 million in USD. Now, as you may be surprised, the young men and women were head scientists and the oldies followed them like bosses. But this never stopped anyone from having a great time. To accommodate everyone, an auditorium was built in 7 days. Here, jazz legends like Jim Dorsey have played to encourage people to continue working. Food was also cheap, only 67-cent unlimited meals. This is probably why 50 tons of food were consumed each day. Although working with some felt like Hanford was prison, since we separate men from women in 7,500 housings. But don't let that discourage you. We won the war this way. Unfortunately, after the war, the personnel number dropped from 10,000 remaining to 5,000, and we've given the facility to GE. It seemed like to get enough plutonium required 3 long stockpiles, each needing workers to fabricate fuel, operate the piles, and then chemically separate plutonium from waste. Using this process, you are expected to churn out 64 tons of plutonium in your time spent here. Although Hanford, Washington made us win the war, we did some damage to the environment. We produced 22,000 tons of high-level waste and 200,000 tons of low-level waste, and lots of radiation. Workers were required to wear badges in order to track radiation. However, in some cases, we lied to keep our most skilled on the job, as if you had too much radiation, you were taken away. Most waste has been contained in 177 underground tanks seeping below the land. To help preserve the environment, the plan was to build 200-foot stacks to ease the flow of deadly gases and disperse them into the air, to build chemical walls to trap highly toxic chromium, and we have taken measures to turn 3% of the waste into glass to store in Nevada. The main issue with plutonium was that mostly waste was generated. Some has been found in the Puget Sound. Hopefully our cleanup crew can take care of those problems. For us, the future holds many surprises. Some say at this pace, in 2013, Hanford will have the most job growth in the whole USA, since some predict that there will be a recession. There are plans for a dual-purpose reactor that may produce electricity and plutonium. We are planning on having a total of 9 reactors between 1956 and 1963. We will be hiring 11,000 people as a cleanup crew for excess waste, and they will be using a method of stripping electrons which may cost $10 billion, more than the facility itself. Starting in the 1980s, we may slowly decommission the facility, since we already have too much plutonium. Many Native American artifacts have been found, and we want to excavate them. Thank you, recruits, for your time. And remember, welcome to Hanford.